Now I know I have done this before. I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% positive I have done this before. But opinions have changed since the last time that I have done this. And I think my opinions have made it into a more controversial type of thing. Especially on one game. I know for a fact will be very controversial. But I want to rank every single Soulsborne game. Now, I'd love to do this video if I could get footage for every game, but Bloodborne is on the PS5. Demon Souls, at least the way I play it on the remake, that's on the PS5. And also Sekiro and Dark Souls 2 I played on my PS5 because those were before I had a PC, and now I have a PC, and I only have Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls, and Elden Ring on my PC. So I'd love to get footage for every game, but unfortunately I can't, because it would literally, I don't have a capture card for it. So I just have to unfortunately just do a tier list like this. But with this tier list, I'm going to put them in a row on each thing. So for example, let's just say I absolutely hated Dark Souls, but I like Dark Souls 2 more, then Dark Souls 2 will go above it. So that's what we're doing. But I'm going to break down everything I love about the game, everything I hate about the games. Let's get started. Now, first up will be Demon Souls. Demon Souls is a solid C. If I had to fish things I like about it, I mean, I played the remake, so visually the game was beautiful. I would say that the difficulty mainly comes from the runbacks or whatever, which I mean, I guess that's definitely a negative thing, is it's very much artificially difficult because of the runbacks, because mobs are everywhere. The bosses are super easy, but it's more of artificial difficulty. So that's a negative. Like, honestly, the world design's great. I really like the hub world. I think that's really cool. The boss designs, like the Dragon God, like, and the Flame Lurker, King Allant, they look really cool. I think they're designed really good, but they definitely are aged, and you can tell that. I think like if those types of bosses were now, they would be designed better. And you know, that's just my opinion. I really like, especially in the first area, because like the first area you spawn in to is that's basically like the first and final area. It's very well connected too in that first area. Just like, yeah, it goes up and up and up, and you face, you know, the phalanx, I think, the little slime thing, the tower giant, then the penetrator, and then I think it's King Allant. It just, you know, that continuity is really nice. But negatives, as I said, it's just artificial difficult with the runbacks. Not having full health. Like, if you die, you either with a ring have 75%, without a ring it's 50% health. I really hate that. And another game brought that back. And it's another game that I don't really like either. The bosses too, they're just all gimmick fights. They are super, super easy. The boss that I had the hardest time with was Flame Lurker, because he's like the only one in there that's just super fast and will mess you up, especially if you go in there lower leveled. So I don't think the game's too difficult to it's definitely dated, and you can tell, at least with the boss designs, it's definitely dated, but it's a solid C. Next is Dark Souls. I'm not going to put it at A. I love Dark Souls. But the game I'm putting at A, I like more. So, I love Dark Souls. Absolutely love it. One, the Firelink Shrine is, the music so iconic. It's so great. It's such a soothing, relaxing place. The fact that literally everything is connected in your first area. Everywhere you go is connected to the Firelink Shrine. I absolutely love that. It's so great. Oh, you can go down below. Oh, you can go up top. You defeat the Belfry Gargoyles. Oh, there's even more down below that leads to Blighttown. Like, everything is so connected and so well thought out, especially leading up to Anne Orlando. Like, getting to Anne Orlando, it's just a breathtaking view the first time you get there. Ornstein and Smo, the best duo boss. Belfry Gargoyles, you're fighting them for the first time, then boom, a second one drops in. And it's like, oh shit, like, there's a second one. And it's the first half of the game is so well designed. And it's definitely a step up from Demon's Souls difficulty-wise. And same with world-wise. It's so great, but where the game falls off hard is the second half. The second half is so lame. All the bosses suck. The Four Kings, they aren't fun to fight. The area they're in's not fun. It's just lame. Nito, he has a bunch of ads around the arena, and it's also just super annoying to fight because he can poison you, has the ads, blah blah blah. Bed of Chaos, literally probably the worst fight Fromsoftware has ever made, and I'm pretty sure Miyazaki himself has come out and said sorry for it. And then Seat the Scaleless. I remember my first time playing Dark Souls, I looked forward to Seat the Scaleless so much, and then I got to his fight, and I was so disappointed because he's so cool. I was like, a scaleless dragon, like, he's so, you see him in the intro cutscene, you're like, oh my god, he looks so cool. And then you get what you get. It's real bad, that second half, and I know because apparently development was rushed. Second half, but it definitely shows up. And while Gwyn is a cool final fight, he's very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. I don't know. If the game continued what the first half was doing throughout the entire game, I think it'd be an S tier. I think it would easily bump it up to an S tier. Well, no, bump it up to an A tier. But the second half brings it down so bad. It's a great game, but that second half is not good at all. Next is Dark Souls 2. I don't think I've ever really talked about Dark Souls 2 in any of my videos. I think I do, and I send little jabs at it. And it's because this is the one game that I played out of all these games that I really did not like. I don't have a lot of positive things to say. I think the areas suck in this game. The only place that's, I love is Majula. It's one of the best hubs, easily. It probably is the best hub in any Souls game. But the bosses are terrible. Everything is just enemies here, enemies here, enemies here. The areas are not fun to run through. The adaptability, it's very clunky. Very, very clunky. It feels slow, even compared to Demon's Souls or Dark Souls, which makes no sense because they're older, but yet it feels like steps back. I hated so many bosses and so many moments in this game. And there were times that I had a good time. Like, I mean, whenever I fought Fume Knight in the DLC, I enjoyed Fume Knight. Fume Knight was a fun fight. He was cool. His lore's cool. Sir Alant, a fun fight. You know, but getting to him was miserable. Terrible run for a great boss. But I mean, Flame Lurker, Iron Keep, the wannabe Belfry Gargoyles. I mean, just even the final boss, it's so much as a letdown in this game. And also the DLC is my least favorite DLC out of any of these games. I love Dark Souls DLC, like Mana Satorius and all of that, great. I love that DLC. But the DLC in Dark Souls 2 is such a letdown. It's such a letdown. And what is his name in the final third DLC? Burnt Ivory King, right? I hate that fight with a passion. One, you have to fight a wave of enemies before you get to him. And if you do not get all 4 knights, it is almost impossible to do that. Because then you will have knights fighting you while you're trying to fight the boss. So basically you have to fight ads and the boss. Not fun at all. And the boss is just not fun either. His hitbox, I had high adaptability too, and his hitboxes were so questionable. So there's just so much that I dislike about this game. And I know there's defenders out there, and I respect defending this game. I'll respect that, but nothing will change my mind on how I feel about this game. I strongly dislike this. I strongly dislike this game. Now, if I had to think of some positives, I really like that you're able to fast travel anywhere at the beginning. Power stancing was introduced in this, and power stancing was brought back into Elden Ring, and I love power stancing. Power stancing's so much fun. Majula, that's about it. I just can't think of, I can't think of any other positives. Now, this is probably my hottest take. Bloodborne is not an S tier game, in my opinion. And I have reasons for that. Now, I do really enjoy Bloodborne. I really do. But there are many things that I have issues with. I have many things that I think people ignore and just glance over because of the atmosphere. Because, some bosses are great. The DLC is amazing. The atmosphere is great. There's some hard, crazy good bosses, but there's only 4 good bosses, and the rest are terrible. I just want to get why I don't think it's an S tier out of the way. I don't like the bosses in this game. Now, Gurman, Maria, Koss, Ludwig. I always blank on the one dude's name that's in the snowy area. I can't remember his name. I love those fights. But you look at Celestial Emissary. You look at Abritus. You look at Wet Nurse. You look at Claret Beast. You look at Lawrence. You look at the Witches of Hemwick. You look at Shadows of Yharnam. You look at Dark Beast Parl. You look at all those bosses, and those are all terrible. Oh, Bloodstar Beast as well. Those bosses are garbage. And that's a lot of garbage bosses compared to a lot of great bosses. German, Maria, Gascoigne, Koss, Ludwig. That's only 5. I know people love... I know some people like Lawrence, but to me, he's just a cleric beast that's on fire. And cleric beast is not that hard. And cleric beast isn't a good designed boss either. It's jumping around screaming. It will move its arm and take away your entire health bar. And that's another thing that I have problems with. The bestial enemies in this game... One, they just scream. They jump around and scream. Everything just screams. It gets annoying at a certain point. And the damage output is ridiculous. For example, Lawrence. There were many times whenever I was fighting Lawrence, and I had a good health bar too going into DLC. And his charge that he does would take away almost my entire health bar. I don't think that's good design whenever a boss does that much damage. And it's only the bestial bosses. Humanoid bosses, they will chunk away your health. But bestial bosses, which there's a lot of them, they'll literally just jump around the arena and your entire health bar is gone in a matter of seconds. They'll move their arm and their health bar is gone. For example, Lawrence. Lawrence is the worst definition of this. Whenever he gets to his phase 2 where he's just crawling around or whatever, he's super easy. But if he catches you whenever he's throwing his little fits, one hit takes away 75% of your health. I feel like anything that does that is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If a boss takes away almost my entire health bar in one hit, I do not enjoy it. I do not enjoy that fight. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves with Bloodborne. Is the fact that most of the bosses have a move that will literally almost deplete your entire health bar, and I think that's poor design. Now, of course, I really like this game. As I said, the atmosphere. Some of the bosses are great. The weapons are great. I love the parrying system. I really want a remake for this game. And that's another negative thing is the FPS, the performance holds it back so bad. It holds it back so bad. I want an improved version of this game so bad. I do. But I don't love it enough to give it that S tier. I just don't. And I know people are going to really have a problem with that. But that's just my opinion. I couldn't love it the way people love it. For some reason, I couldn't. I really couldn't. The next up is Dark Souls 3. People hate on Dark Souls 3 all they want. Fan service, blah, blah, blah. It's carried by nostalgia, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't disagree anymore. Dark Souls 3 has some of, if not the best bosses designed in a FromSoft game. Nameless King, Midir, Frida, Gale, Soul of Cinder, Dancer, Prince Lorien, or the twin princes, the demon princes. That's a dual fight, but guess what? That's a great dual fight. Champion Gundyr, even Udex Gundyr is fun. So many top tier bosses, and if I ever redo a ranking of like all the main Soulsborne bosses, so many Dark Souls 3 bosses will be an S tier for me. Such great design bosses. It introduces power, like weapon arts. The game feels so responsive. I think The damage output with bosses wise is the best it's ever been in any of these games, including Elden Ring. For example, Gale. He's hard as shit, but he's not hard because one attack that he does takes away all my health. He's hard as shit because of his combos that he does. He's difficult because of his combos. But I can take 4 hits from Gale and still be alive. But also Gale's super tanky. So I'm not just rolling in there and killing him in like 10 hits. I'm actually having to learn him because the fight's lasting so long because of how tanky he is. I want them to take that from Dark Souls 3 and put it even further in the future in their games that they plan on developing. Whatever Soulsborne game they plan on making next, I want them to take that from Dark Souls 3. I would prefer that a boss doesn't kill me immediately and I can take 3-4 hits from, and where I don't even do a lot of damage, where they're tanky as well. That makes the fight last longer. That makes you learn the boss. I would prefer that than just being able to run in there with a super optimized build and just one-shot everything. Much rather prefer that. Also, the DLC, Ring City is just top tier DLC. There's so many, like getting to Anne Orlando is this game. It's like, holy shit, I'm at Anne Orlando. So many moments too, even going down to the smoldering lake. Like so many times there's like you get to points in this game, you're like, holy shit, this game's pretty. It's like, holy shit, this game is beautiful. Like seeing the eclipse whenever you're about to go to the Soul of Cinder, it's like, holy shit, that looks gorgeous. Like there's so many moments like that. And I absolutely love this game. I fell in love with this game the first time I ever played it, and it has remained up there with me. Like up there for me. It easily has. Now, if I had to think of some negatives, it's honestly pretty hard for me because of how much I love this game. It would have to be I will say, as much as some of the bosses are the hardest bosses, this game is also pretty easy. Like there are, especially the roll timing, I feel like is very forgiving in this game. And as well, some of the areas are just areas you're like, I don't even feel like looting. I just want to run through here. Like the areas just aren't interesting. I will say too that I kind of wish that like the Soul of Cinder area, it was like a final area you had to run through instead of just, oh, I'm here at the boss type of thing. And I also, the reuse of Firelink Shrine, I kind of wish that it had its own like hub area, because each game has its own hub area. This is the only one that really reused it. Not two. This is like what, number 4, number 3. Some of the like Lord of Cinders, only 2 of them, Aldrich and Yorm. I don't know why I was blinking on his name. They're like the disappointing Soul of Cinders, or the Lord of Cinders, I mean. I do wish that like they were kind of more hard, especially Yorm, because he's so cool lore wise and everything. And then honestly, you go in there no matter what, new game and you just absolutely obliterate him with the gimmick weapon. It just sucks, because he's such a cool looking boss. He's so cool. But overall, I mean, I just have nothing but positive things to say about this game, and I absolutely love it. Sekiro, another S tier. I remember thinking to myself I wasn't going to enjoy this game because of the pairing system, because I'm not a huge pairing person. I roll in every Soulsborne game. Absolutely fell in love with this game. One, combat is the best combat that they've made, easily. I mean, but then again, I mean, that could be just because they focus on one thing in combat. Easily the best thing in combat ever. The game is beautiful. Getting that satisfaction of finally that feeling of, oh, I get it now, on the timings with the clicks. Like, I remember whenever I was fighting Genichiro, and whenever he does like his flurry rush, whenever I figured out like the timing on him, and I parried all 5 of his, like, parried quickly all 5 of his, like, I'm pretty sure it's 5, but his like little flurry rush he does, and hearing that ding 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 go off, and seeing his posture bar just fill up, and it's just like, holy shit, I got it down. And I remember I was surprised, because people say this is the hardest Soulsborne game. Even for me, one game has still always given me the hardest trouble. One game. Sekiro, surprisingly, did not kick my ass the way I thought it was going to. I pretty quickly caught on to the pairing system and really quickly got it down. Obviously, Demon of Hatred kicked my ass. Obviously. I mean, it's because that's a Dark Souls boss in a goddamn parrying game. Just like how Melania is a goddamn Sekiro boss in a Dark Souls game. Like, he obviously kicked my ass, and I didn't use Umbrella or anything to make him easier. I just went in there and managed to beat him. And same thing, Genichiro, obviously he kicked my ass as well. But he didn't take nearly as long as I thought he was, and I was real shocked with how good I got at the game. But I mean, just as another, the bosses. Alfather, Genichiro, Ishin, Lady Butterfly. I mean, so many great bosses in this game, and learning their parry timings is so satisfying. Like, going in to fight Sorsen Ishin and you're facing Genichiro again, just going in there and kicking his ass immediately is one of the most satisfying feelings I've ever felt in a game. Like, I just remember like going in there, I was like, oh, it's you again. And then next thing I know, he's dead and I'm fighting Ishin. Like, that is it. This game has to have one of the most satisfying feelings in a video game. Easily. Now, I do have to say some negatives. I do think there are some reuse of bosses in this game. Like the spear dudes, the dude, I'm blanking on their names. But there's some like bosses where it's 2 of them instead of just 1 this time. Like Guardian Ape, for example, the duo Guardian Ape fight. That fight is misery. They also use like regular bosses that like you go and fight to like go get prayer beads or whatever. This time there's 2 of them. Also, not really fun. Some of the enemies are even harder than regular bosses, but like, especially late game, there's a lot of times where you go into an area and it's like, oh, there's 2 enemies I have to fight. It felt kind of lazy on that aspect. Especially I remember going to Ashina Castle and there's the dude that can poison you, and then there's also I can't remember his whatever, the other one with it's like the dude in the purple robe and dude in the blue robe. They both gank you, and they're not a good combo like together. And they do that a lot where like there's just not good combos together. Also, I mean, there just wasn't a DLC. I really wish there was a DLC. And it's just, but not a lot of negative things to say. It's honestly hard to find just because, I mean, at these games that I'm putting S tier, it's hard for me to like find things that I dislike about the game. I'm sure if I played these more and more, I'd find more things to dislike. Because the next one, which is my number one game, without a doubt, Elden Ring, I've played it so much that I have realized things that I don't like. But I'm sure you guys know, if you watch any of my videos, I absolutely adore this game. This is my favorite game of all time. It's the first Soulsborne game I played. In my opinion, it's the best. I know people probably will disagree with this, but it's my opinion. It's how I feel. Going back and playing every game because of this game honestly made me appreciate this game even more. I could gloat about this game for hours on end, and I want to in a video in the future. The open world aspect, stepping out into Limgrave for the first time, took my breath away. This is my first Souls game I've ever played, and I will never forget that experience. So many points in this game, you step out and you're like, this game is beautiful. This is cinema. This is peak gaming. So many bosses, so cool. Their cutscenes. Seeing Godric cut off his arm for the first time to graft a goddamn dragon head to him. Going and fighting Radon and wondering where he is whenever he transitions into phase 2 and you look up in the sky and a goddamn meteor's coming towards you. Seeing Melania transform into phase 2 for the first time. Malekith summoning Destined Death. Finding Placidusax in the frozen in time area. Seeing Godfrey cover himself in Sarash's blood. So many cool moments that I will never forget on my first playthrough. And there's so many moments too that I come and I play and I'm like, holy shit, it's still so cool. They took Dark Souls' first half where everything's connected and amplified it by 1,000. Everything is connected in this game. There's not a part of the game that is disconnected from it. Now, obviously, like the underground areas, like Mog's Palace, that's like a disconnected area. You have to go teleport to that. But even on the underground areas, Sephoria Riverwell, you don't have to go through a loading screen to get there. Go take a well. Nokron Eterno City. The meteor crashes and you just go to this part and you're able to go down into it. The Deeproot Depths, it's below Lanedale. And you can also get to it through a portal. You can get through it to a well in Liurnia, I believe. Everything is just connected. And you go and explore a part and you're like, holy shit, there's something over here? I thought that it'd just be an empty area. No, there's a weapon to go grab. No, there's items to go grab. Smithing stones. Oh, there's a dungeon down here. Oh, there's an overworld boss down here. There's still times that I play this game and I go into an area and I'm just like, you can get over here? And I go and explore it and it's like, oh, there's something over here. And that's the thing that I see people complain about all the time is like that you have to explore. Like I see people complain about the exploration aspect. That's what this whole game is for and supposed to be, is it's supposed to reward your exploration. Why is that a problem? I don't understand that argument whenever it comes to this game, because I see people say that. This game rewards your exploration. It doesn't punish you for exploring, it rewards you, but people want to just boss rush the entire thing. I mean, hell, even the DLC rewards your exploration with the Shadow Tree fragments. And people complain about that, and it's like, bro, you just want to run around the DLC and boss rush. Just admit it. No, like, that's the whole point of being like, hey, we created this big map. Maybe you should go explore it. But people want to complain about having to explore the map. I don't get that. There's a reason why it's an open world game. You're supposed to explore. You aren't supposed to just run from point A to point B. Explore. Go collect. That's what it encourages. I don't understand that complaint at all. Another people say there's no replayability. Yes, there is. Do different challenge runs. You can do that on any of them. Because people say there's no replayability on this game and it's the worst out of this game. Couldn't disagree more. You could say that about every other game. This game, there's countless other builds. There's countless routes you can take. There's countless different things you can do in this game. You're limited in the other games. If anything, the other games have less replayability. This game, I constantly take different routes. I constantly want to use different builds. I constantly am doing different things. Now I've gotten to a point where I'm doing challenge runs. I'm constantly making this game fresh and exciting for myself. And I'm enjoying it. I'm not playing and be like, okay, now I'm getting bored. I don't want to play anymore. No. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So this complaining about replayability is just not true. It's just not true. You just refuse to explore. You just want to do the same thing over and over. Another thing, the bosses. Some of the best bosses ever. Godfrey, Malekith, Placidusax, Radahn. Moog, Mesmer, Bale, Midra, Rolana, Consort Radahn. I don't know why I was about to say Starscourge Radahn. I already said Starscourge Radahn. So many fantastic bosses. And people want to say they're overtuned. They aren't overtuned. You're just refusing to learn them. I've learned from my Rune Level 1 run, these motherfuckers are not overtuned. They have plenty of punish windows. If I'm able to get a full charge R2 off, break their posture over and over, there's plenty of punish windows. You just refuse to learn them because you just want to be able to face tank through everything and dodge. Not that type of game. Just adapt. I could go on and on about what I love about this game, but I want to save that for a future video that I make. But I will point out some negatives. Yes, the dungeons can get stale because they kind of just feel the same after a little bit. Yes, there's so many repeated bosses. And another thing that I would say is I feel like the bosses, it's the same thing with Bloodborne, they do too much damage. But the reason they're like that is because I've noticed the bosses aren't as tanky as they are in other games. Because you can melt bosses' health in this game. Melt. Malekith, for example, he does an insane amount of damage, but his health bar is non-existent. So that's another thing, is bosses aren't that tanky, and two, they do a lot of damage, but it's to counteract, like, you know, all right, they aren't as tanky, so you can kill them quicker, but they can also kill you quicker. And I just prefer the Dark Souls 3 way of They're more tanky, you're more tanky. The fight lasts longer, you're going to have to learn the fight. That's why people, I feel like, mainly just pour into Vigor in Elden Ring, because if you get enough at a certain point, you can start tanking and just obliterate the health bar. But, you know, that's just not fun, so I do wish they kind of went the Dark Souls 3 route. But that's all the negatives I can say. I mean, I absolutely love this game, but least favorite, Dark Souls 2. So 7, Dark Souls 2, 6, Demon Souls, 5, Dark Souls, 4, Bloodborne, 3, Sekiro, 2, Dark Souls 3. Number 1 is Elden Ring. Maybe the next FromSoft game, the next full Soulsborne game that comes out, not Night Rain or Dust Bloods that is coming out, their next actual Soulsborne game that they release, maybe I'll like it even more than Elden Ring. We're just going to have to wait and see. I'm sure you guys are going to have so much to say, because especially this Bloodborne ranking, people defend this game like it's a part of their family. And I'm sure I'm going to get shit for it. But that's just my opinion. Just how I feel. I love these games. I can't wait for the future that whatever they choose to do in the future. Just, you know, I'm probably gonna get lynched in the comments for my Bloodborne opinion.